Good morning, all the Hydroglide owner group members. I want to do a little video about hydraulic push rods on the 48 to 52. Some of us are running these. A lot of people take them out and they're either using the alloy rods or they're taking the original steel units and they're brazing them and running them as solids. Now, the problem with the panheads is heat expansion. So you're going to get expansion of the parts, the cylinders, the heads are going to expand at different rates. You get the aluminum heads, of course. And these are designed to take up any kind of lash in the valve train. I like using these. I think they work really well for what they were designed as, which was a bit archaic. So you've got your oil feed going up to your rockers, and it's basically filling up this this ball end and entering in here, the end of the unit, and you've got your piston inside the bore here. That's going to fill it up with oil, and it's going to give you a zero lash. At least in theory. Sometimes these things will get a little bit of a tick at hot engine temperature. Your viscosity is a little bit down on the oil. But all in all, they work pretty well. I've been running these for about, I'd say, the last 5 or 6 years. I had some alloy push rods in here, and I was having a lot of problems with them. I actually launched one of my tappet rollers, and I believe the cause was the push rod. So yeah, I think this is a little softer on the valve train. I mean, it's always kind of taking up the lash, and it's trial and error. I mean, these are old parts, so you really sometimes gotta just hope for the best, and I don't think there's any kind of a way to really test these properly without running them, because they could test out okay on the bench, and then when you got it in service, you know, you might have some issues with them. I actually had a new old stock one in a couple of seasons ago, and I was getting a miss at speed. And I was thinking carburetor, I was thinking intake leak, I was thinking everything under the sun. And basically what was happening was the piston would get stuck in the bore momentarily, and I was having an intake valve that wasn't opening fully. So that was something that I discovered because I just wanted to check these and see what they were looking like as part of the maintenance of the motorcycle. So I just had this this top end back together, and I went through the cam case, the cam chest, and just wanted to verify everything. Everything looked great. I had an issue with the rear exhaust, and it was super quiet starting up and running for about the first half an hour or so, and then I was getting a tick that was coming on, and I kind of narrowed it down to the rear cylinder. So I just I had one more new old stock unit that I pressed into another push rod that I had, and I just put that in. I kind of, you know, I'd feel a bit of a vibration on that push rod tube, so I kind of narrowed it down to that rear exhaust. I think what happened was I wound up swapping the intake and the exhaust around, and I think that's what happened there. So I just decided to go ahead and use that new old stock unit that I had. So it started up. It's a bit difficult to start them when there's no oil in these things, because you're not getting full opening in the valve, and makes starting a bit difficult. Once they fill up with oil, generally, you know, there's no issue after that. So we got it in there. We're going to run it and check it, put some miles on it, but I believe that was the issue. Generally, it's a pretty quiet. You get a bit of a tick, but I mean it's just kind of par for the course for what it is. At a hot temperature. I mean, I think they all were like that from day one. Some are a little bit noisier than others, but they all get sort of a bit of a tick. But you know when one of these things bleed down because it gets real loud. There's two different types. There's an earlier type, and I'm going to put a couple of pictures in the post, but this is a later type that's got a little bit of a notch in it. Makes it a little bit easier. There's a circlip in there to get the clip out. You can use a pick by pushing down on the piston and then kind of popping the clip out of there. And the early type has no notch. Now, from what I understand is at some point, these earlier ones were replaced with the later style, and the leak down rate is a little bit different the way the cup is machined inside the bore. So I have tried both. I've got a couple spares. I know there's a couple people that are running solids and they wanted to try these, and I think it's really the way to go. I mean, for what it is. It's not the latest, greatest 53 and up style. I mean, these are the early units, but it's kind of all you got unless you want to go to solids. But after my mishap with the Colony push rods, I mean, I just don't want to run those. And plus, I think these hold pressure better in the engine because you're not getting total loss from the end of the rockers that are kind of flowing into the push rod tube. You're kind of keeping pressure in the system. At least I think so. So yeah, I just wanted to make this little video to kind of explain some of the differences and, you know, my feelings about the hydraulic units. You can leave your questions, comments, or concerns in the post, but I'll see you the next time. And everybody get ready for spring and happy season ahead.